Hey guys, Scott here. I know I said I was not gonna upload anything, but as I was just laying down and resting, I saw that people were getting super pissed off at me. Not that many people, but still, some people were getting pissed off at me for being like a liar and being super misleading about the video I made with the whole circle of healing, like healing faster than the killer can hit thing, and like my 2 hours of sleep, Valium riddled brain. I was like, what the fuck? What did I lie about? What did I do? And I understand now why people are saying that. So I titled the video "Circle of Healing Makes Survivors Invincible," and because I was like, okay, what's going on in this video? Well, Circle of Healing is making them invincible in this video. That's the content of the video that was being made. So that's just what I titled it. Now, obviously, I see the other side where people were seeing that as a blanket statement of the perk itself, which mathematically doesn't even make sense. So I didn't think people would interpret it like that, but that's still completely my fault for, I'm a content creator. I have to be careful what I title things. So I've since changed the title to clarify that it is, it's obviously a very specific setup. That's not just the standard, how that actually works. So sorry about the confusion on that. That's totally my bad. But I still want to talk about Circle of Healing. I still do actually think it's a bit on the way too good side. And I want to go over a bit more why now. Like I said, I just had my surgery and stuff like that, so I didn't really have time to test more. I was pretty preoccupied. I'm still feeling like shit, but I felt the need to make this. So the reason I'm scared of the perk is it basically, essentially, it gives everybody a medkit, an endless amount of medkits. And medkits are by far the strongest item in the game by a wide margin, especially since keys have been nerfed. It's not even close. Medkits are insanely strong. Why are medkits so strong? Well, it's because they basically negate the killer's ability to reliably snowball. A good killer is not just going to chase every survivor for 2 health states and down them and hook them and then move on. A good killer sometimes will take the easier hit, realize they speed boost to too strong a structure, and they'll have to leave and go chase someone else. And eventually they create more pockets of dead zones, lead injured survivors to those dead zones, and now they get free downs, even if the survivor is very good. That's how good killers can win, even against good teams. But when you have a medkit, for example, if I hit that guy and then I see him get to, fractured cowshed, the shack set up into a long wall, and I'm like, fuck that, I'm not chasing that. And if it takes me, 30 seconds to get that hit, and the survivor heals it up in 16 seconds, well, now I've just lost time as a killer. My whole plan of snowballing and getting an easier hit later is completely negated, and now I'm completely fucked in terms of time efficiency, and that's why medkits are so scary. Now, Circle of Healing does that, but it gives everybody medkits. That's, I think, the scary part. Like, you can bring a jacked up Ranger medkit, even with the new Built to Last, and you can have pretty much as many medkit heals as you want. But the thing is, though, that still only applies kind of to you. Now, you can go and like find teammates and spend the time in the locker to refill the medkit again and bring a jacked up, Ranger medkit with double add-ons and stuff like that. You can do all that and sort of emulate it. But Circle of Healing just gives that to everybody. When you bring in a good medkit, it's mostly just going to be for yourself. And that can be annoying as shit to deal with as a killer too. And I can make a whole new video on just how strong jacked up medkits are. But the fact is that Circle of Healing gives that to everybody without them having to bring anything else in. It essentially gives all survivors a second item. It just gives everyone a medkit basically whenever they want, as long as they go to that area. And it's the same scenario. It's like, you might think, okay, well, say you set, a boon totem in an area, because like there's 2 uses of using this boon totem. There's one, setting it up where the killer roughly is and just always being sort of safe in that area. But with that, the killer can take time out of a chase to go break it, which might mean like he might actually lose a chase because of that, or he might not, depending on what he just did. He maybe hook somebody and he sees a totem right there and it's not a big deal. But that's one option. The other option is putting the boon totem on a generator that you've basically already done in the middle of nowhere. Basically, the killer has no incentive to go there anymore. So the killer now basically, what options does the killer have? If he hits you once, now, he knows you're just going to go to that area and heal up in 16 seconds. That's assuming you don't even have a medkit. If you have a medkit, it's significantly faster. It's like ridiculously fast. But even if you have no medkit whatsoever, you go to that area, now you heal up, and all of the progress the killer just made hitting you there is now negated. Again, if the killer takes 30 seconds to hit you, and you speed boost and run to that area for 15 seconds, heal up for 15 seconds, and then, come back, you've wasted the same amount of time the killer has taken to get you that health state, except there's 4 survivors. Basically, every survivor second is 1/4 as important as the killer's seconds. So the time efficiency does not benefit the killer there. It might be a slower game in a war of attrition, but there will be no snowballing. And that's how most killers win against good teams. You don't win against good teams by, seeing a full health guy, hitting him once, chasing him more, hitting him again, picking him up, putting on a hook, chasing another guy, hitting him once, chasing him again, hitting him again. Like, that's just not how a good killer wins the games against good survivors. You have to set up areas, you have to set up dead zones, and you have to take advantage of injured people, and you have to force injured people into the dead zone, so you basically can negate their skill by, pushing them into a really area with no defenses. With this, they're kind of always going to have a safe haven where the killer can't really do that very well. And that's only if one guy has the perk. If you have more than one person having it, you can set up a web that covers like almost the entire map, depending on how big it is. Obviously, if you're in Red Forest or something, the killer's already having trouble on Red Forest if it's Red Forest. But yeah, obviously the bigger the map is, the less impactful this is. But even with like 2 people, you can set up a 50-meter rectangle. That's like gigantic. It's more of a Venn diagram, but you know what I mean. It's a giant area that gives everybody an unlimited amount of medkits for just like a person bringing the perk. It's like one of the only perks that gives something to everybody else as well. That's, I think, the strongest part about it. Again, medkits are a whole nother topic. They're insanely strong too, but this emulates that problem, but gives it to everybody for free. And I think the time efficiency of having to set up the totems is far more in favor of the survivors than it is for the killer. Like, I understand that it takes the survivors, 16 seconds to set up the totem and probably another 15, 20 seconds to even find the totem. But then once they find that totem, they know where it is and they can relight it whenever they want. So they only have to find it one time. And then once they set it up, it's still the benefit that it gives survivors is way more than it gives killers. And I think that's my main issue with it. Even something as simple as nerfing the healing speed down to like 50%. So it's not quite as bad as self-care, but it's not, you just have a med kit wherever you go into a boon totem, because you can see where the boon totems are. You'll always know where that save area is because you can see them glowing blue on the map if you're a survivor. You don't even need to be in Survivor with Friends. You just always know where it is. So I think even just a simple numerical nerf, and I think I'd be way less worried about it. But yeah, I don't want people to get this weird impression that I'm like, I have an agenda and I want this perk to get nerfed. Like, I don't know why people take my videos like that sometimes. It's kind of frustrating when I just like post my opinion about something and then people think I have some sort of crazy motives behind it. Like I want to just destroy that thing or something. I'm just saying I personally am worried about going against the perk. That's it. There's nothing more. I don't have any more thoughts in my head other than that. Anyway, yeah, I should not be doing anything but resting, so I'm going to go back to that. I just, I genuinely value people's opinions of me as like a somewhat reliable source of information on this game. And when people don't view me like that because of admittedly a badly worded title that I've since fixed, it kind of hurts. It sucks. So I just really felt the need to clarify that. But yeah, that's it, guys. I'm going to go lay back down now and see ya.